All right, so welcome to Enhancing the Accountant Bookkeeper Connection series featuring KATA Accounting. So hello, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tanya Hilt, CPB and AIA, and notice my CPB is corrected. I'm not sure if it was this one, but I was down to the CBP. So yeah, CBP. I had my things wrong, and I think what we figured, it was certified badass professional was a CBP.
Nice.
So somebody, and it wasn't me that said that, somebody else mentioned that. So anyway, I'm here because I'm passionate about collaboration, and you can find me at Tanya's Bootcamp on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. And that's where these are put. A little bit about me again, for those who don't know me, I received my accredited impactful advisor designation in 2021. I'm also a level 5 certified advisor through Mentor Plus under the tutelage of Jeannie Whitehouse, insightful accountant, top 100 ProAdvisor for 2018, 19, 20, and 21, and was the top Canadian ProAdvisor for 2020, Intuit's Global Firm in the Future for 2018. I am also a volunteer mentor through Futurepreneur Canada and Women in Accounting. I'm a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network, a director of CPB Canada, and the founder of Cloud Business Services and Tanya's Bookkeepers Bootcamp. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. So I started looking for quotes relevant to what we're doing. And this is, of course, every session of these, I will have a new quote. So, and there's, of course, all our minions happily moving forward. Well, 2 minions happily moving forward together, which I think is, just absolutely great about collaboration. I think really speaks for the community that we have, for those of us that do work together in the community. And of course, that quote is by Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motor Company. This webinar does qualify for CPD credits through CPB Canada. There will be 2 polls that must both be answered in order to qualify, and the recording of the webinar and your CPD credits will be emailed within 2 days. So those that qualify for the credits, it will be on the same email as the recording, and it's coming through Flowdesk now. So it's, very nice and pretty like, and it will come from Bootcamp at mycbs.ca. So if you don't see it, and I'll likely have this, it'll be out tomorrow, by tomorrow at the latest. So if you don't have it by the weekend, absolutely take a look, or even by tomorrow night, take a look in your spam folder. Make sure that the Bootcamp at mycbs.ca comes through. They used to all come from support, but I've got 2 different flow desks. And so therefore we can't have the same email address under both of them. So take a look for that. And again, there won't be a separate CPD credit. It will be within the same as the webinar for those that do qualify. So we have Jonathan Carter, who is founder and principal accountant for KATA Solutions. We've been collaborating with Jonathan and his team for a number of years. We've got multiple mutual clients. He's my accountant as well, for the business, and doesn't know it, but will be soon personal. So Jonathan, you can really look up on it's the crypto, Rod's into cryptocurrency and mining and stuff. So I'm like, no, this is going to go above me. So be prepared to have that coming your way. And of course, Jonathan, he works in QBO, great attention to detail and outstanding customer service. And of course, so take it away. I will now pass it over to you then, Jonathan.
Well, thank you. I'm going to share. I do have a bit of internet connectivity issues. So if somebody ends up, like if I end up choppy, please just let me know and I can go back over whatever. Okay. So I agree 100% about the collaboration. I mean, working together, we all get better together. It's really amazing. I don't remember who first brought up the idea of co-opetition, but it
Oh, okay. So was that my internet or Jonathan's? I don't know. If somebody.
I can hear you, Tanya.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jen. So it's Jonathan. You're back, Jonathan? We
Can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
you.
You can't hear me.
Okay, we can hear you now. You totally cut off. You said co-opetition and that was it.
I don't know who came up with that idea, but I definitely agree with it. You know, the more we know about each other's businesses and who's really good at what, the more we can help the customers find the best home to live in. And I mean, that sometimes that means, you know, passing on business, but saying, hey, you're not the best for us, but these people might be able to help, things along those lines. So who am I to be talking about anything at all, really? Well, I'm the founder of KATA Accounting Solutions Professional Corporation. We are a cloud-based accounting and bookkeeping firm. We tend to have a fairly narrow niches. So when we get inquiries, we do look for homes for people. You know, for instance, we don't work with doctors, we don't work with lawyers, we don't work with chiros, we don't work with restaurants, we don't work with retail. There's a lot of things that we don't work with. So it's really good to be able to reach into our network and help those customers find a good place. So as a member of the inaugural Intuit Accountants Council, and I've had a long-standing relationship with Intuit, you know, conferring on everything from, you know, work papers to profile to all kinds of different areas. I like working with them because they really do take our feedback and they do listen to us. And though it sometimes takes a long time to implement changes, you can see that they're working at it. And that's, you know, like everybody, change doesn't come overnight. I was the recipient of the 2018 Inspire Accountant Award. That was very, very big honor for me. Elite ProAdvisor, QBO Advanced Certified Intuit Insightful Accountant 2021 Top 100 ProAdvisor. First time on that list. We were very happy about that. All of our team is required to be QBO Basic Certified within 1 week of joining us. And we're hoping to have most of our team who's been with us for a long time advanced certified by the end of the year. We're trusted advisors for several cloud bookkeeping firms, considered thought leaders in technology and accounting, and we like to work with technology companies, companies that are doing business remote, online, things like that. Our tagline is communicate, collaborate, and innovate. Every business is different and every person is different. So we don't feel that an out-of-the-box solution fits everyone perfectly. So today we're a bit late, but I want to talk about some holiday considerations for businesses. I really hope that there's good value in this for everybody who's joined us today. And by all means, if you want to pipe up and you have something you want to talk about, let's do it, because I wasn't able to kind of go into all the detail I wanted to do. I'm trying to keep it kind of broad, but we could find some interesting things as we go along. So just some quick items for the agenda. Are you open? That's a question for businesses, particularly firms like ours. Some might be shut down. We'll go into that in more detail. How about capacity? What's your holiday budget? How do you treat your team? What about customer appreciation? And of course, end of year purchases and being sensitive towards other people. So let's start with poll number 1. How do you treat gifts for your employees in regards to taxable benefits? Items under $500 are not tied to, items under $500 not tied to performance are not taxable. All tangible gifts are tax-free. Only bonuses are taxable, or gift cards are not taxable. Or is it B and C? Tanya, I'm not seeing the poll up.
Nope, sorry, that's me. I'm trying to multitask and it's not working, obviously. All right, yeah, I'm trying to respond to a direct message in the question. So now there's the poll. So there we go. Oh, hang on. You know what, guys? Sorry, I have to stop this poll and I'm gonna have to restart it because right now it's not letting panelists vote. So allow panelists to vote, relaunch. It will clear existing. So if you've already voted, I'm very sorry, you're going to have to vote again, but we should be good now. All panelists should be able to vote. And then if there's somebody in the panelists, I put all the invitations out. So if there's somebody who's an attendee and you're not in panelists and you can't see the invitation, just, you know, put it in the chat. I'll watch the chat and I'll bring you back in. Okay, so we've got 8 of 12. Okay, so we'll give it about 5 more seconds. So we'll do a countdown. Again, you need to vote to get the CPD credits or the CPD. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll end the poll, and there's the results.
I think CPD is something else.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Something else.
we'll blame it. Well, thanks, Karen. We'll blame it on last week's surgery, right? I'm still only a week and a half at a surgery. We'll blame it on that. I'll use that as long as I can get away with it.
Absolutely. No, it just made me chuckle. That's all. It's
And
nice
as
to
I
see
said
you.
it, as I said it, I'm like, no, got it wrong.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks. Okay.
All right, so some results from the poll. The answer was A. Items under $500 not tied to performance are not taxable. If they are tied to performance, then they are, you should be doing the source deductions on them. And all tangible gifts are not tax-free. If you were to buy somebody a car, that would definitely be a taxable benefit that needs to be adjusted, things like that. So this is just kind of a warm-up, a primer. So let's talk about the first thing. Yep.
Sorry, I was just going to mention, and if you're going to get into this afterwards, just about the gift cards. Do you get into the gift cards?
Oh, we're going to talk about gift cards more than once.
Okay, perfect. Then I will just keep it. Yeah, because I'll just keep my mouth shut until we talk then. Thank you.
Okay. So the first question is, what are your customers' expectations? Are they going to expect you to be open? What are your team's expectations? Are they going to expect you to be shut down? Are they going to expect a more relaxed work environment? Those are some questions you have to think about and consider. If you are having special hours, I'd strongly recommend updating your Google Business profile. The link is right there. So when it goes out, hopefully that I'll download this in the PowerPoint version, and Tanya can distribute that as well. And then, do you need to update your hours anywhere else? So just out of curiosity, are people shutting down between, the 24th and the 3rd?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
I might be sooner.
We do an official shutdown for clients, but it gives us the flexibility that if there's stuff that we want to do or back end stuff to catch up, we kind of always do that. But then that way there's no stress, so that if, Sandra or Leanne, they're like, oh, there's no family here, I'm just bored, I want to go in and do some work, they can do that. But then that way it gives us the flexibility to do that on our own terms. And of course, if they wanted to take the whole time off, then they absolutely could. Again, I leave that to the individual to decide, and that's it. So
this year is interesting too, because like the way the holidays fall, the stat holidays is like 3 days off. If you take 3 days off, you get a whole week, right? So it's kind of a nice opportunity for somebody to take an extended vacation. We're in the same boat as you, Tanya. We are shut down for customers, but doing some work. The team is allowed to set their schedule, so when they choose to work is when they choose to work. And I will probably be working probably the 2 of the days in between, but not the whole time. And I won't be doing a lot of customer facing work. It'll be mainly back end internal work. So, all right. So how about capacity? Vacation time can be a challenge. Sometimes especially in larger organizations, there can be a lot of requests on a year like this to take that whole week off that can interfere with your capacity and how many people there are to service your customers. If we're going to be shut down, how do you handle the employee vacations? Are they just paid in lieu of being available to work? Is there a requirement to take vacation in that period of time? Those are some things that need to be talked about as a team and considered by you guys, the owners. What about your customers? Do they need extra staffing? Do they need extra inventory? With the supply chains and things, the Great Resignation, the supply chain issues, like I said, we're a bit late on the subject matter. So I'd suggest that if people are going to try and implement things like these, they start talking about as early as September, because those few customers we have who are doing Black Friday things, they're planning them out before the end of September. So sales pricing. Are there going to be Boxing Day sales, Black Friday sales? have those pricings being reviewed. This is a good upsell opportunity that sometimes, customers can get themselves into trouble, particularly if they're using platforms that are high in fees like Amazon. You don't want to make a bunch of sales and just every sale you make costs you more money. You need to be making money still. So that pricing analysis is a really good opportunity to upsell or deepen your relationship with your customers. Production schedules can be another thing. I was thinking more when I was first thinking about this, I was thinking about the hospitality industry and restaurants and the kitchens and their capacity, but this really could apply to a lot of different organizations, particularly ones who are doing custom gifts, which are often sold online and purchased online. And when are your cutoff dates? If you order by this date, is it guaranteed delivered by a certain day, or things along those lines? Just some more things to think about. So with regards to capacity, I know for our customers, they don't expect us to be available at all during the holidays. How about you? How about everyone here? With deafening silence.
I've been pretty fortunate that we have really small customer, like really small businesses, and so frankly they're all off too, is
Nice.
generally the thing. And if they see the autoresponder says we're not here, they're like, okay, you're not here, you warned us.
Cool.
So I'm pretty fortunate.
Other than payroll, we're not doing much responding to people. We'll make sure the payrolls are done. And if anybody, which I don't even think I have this year, that may have like GST or PST due December 31st, that'll get done before we shut down. But yeah, the only thing is for payroll.
Yeah, payrolls probably.
And then
the
of course,
big
December 1st, getting out the ever-loving TD1 forms to all the clients, so the employees can hopefully get them back before the end of December for January 1st.
one. You hope. Okay, some good examples. So let's talk about holiday budgets. I'm going to talk about this in two parts. First part about like accounting and bookkeeping firms. Second part just about your potential customers and where they could be. So some budgets, time budget, like for who's doing what and when, your staffing needs throughout the holidays. Do you need to have more budget? Are you doing bonuses? Are you doing things along those lines that you need to build a bit more into your budget for? Team party, of course, gifts for the team. If I don't know if you do gifts for the team and a team party or what you do in those regards. Of course, this year is going to be kind of weird because of COVID. We've spoken to our team, and it would essentially be dinner with two of us. So we're probably not going to do a whole lot with regards to that, because the other people aren't comfortable getting together due to COVID, and that's completely understanding. So customer appreciation event, again, kind of disrupted this year. We haven't done one before. We'd very much like to do one, but our customer base is really spread out, so I have no idea what that would look like. So I'm still trying to navigate that. If anybody has any ideas, I'm all ears. But we do send gifts to our main customers, those who are our monthly recurring revenue, who are helping us every year. And yeah, that's something to budget for, because sometimes things can get out of hand, particularly if you're purchasing in one spot and shipping around the country. That can really add up really fast. I remember the one year that we did it, it ended up like, I thought it was going to be few $100s, end up being just over $1,000, and that was pretty early in my journey, so it was a bit of a pill to swallow.
Well, and so if I can just jump on one thing as well,
Yeah.
too, to think about when you're talking staffing needs. I know what we do is we pay out any unused vacation the end of the year. That gets paid out on that last check of the year. So that's something that if you haven't been moving that over into, your liability account, that you've got to account for that on top of any Christmas budgets to be able to pay out, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
we pay out vacation pay on every pay, so that I don't have to worry about it. And anybody that has a business that somewhat where the hourlies can be up and down, we just paid 4% on every check. So when they take their time off, they're just off, and then they're already paid their vacation pay.
Yeah,
But they
I
still have
find
to
that
take their
works.
time off.
I find that works well for the customers who have the part-time employees for sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a bit for your customers. Again, the staffing budgets. We talked about restaurants and other venues might need extra staffing during this period of time. Labor costs can be a brutal thing for restaurants, and particularly when you have capacity restrictions and additional COVID measures. Managing that labor cost is going to be very important, and yet adhering to labor standards and making sure that you're not overstaffing, that you have people on call if you need to have extra staff come in, things along those lines. I can't imagine it would be any worse than you're a restaurant and your top chef doesn't show up or something like that. That could be a real disaster for those kind of businesses. And of course, photographers and Santas are in high demand right now. I may have played Santa in the past. Production budgets. We talked a bit about the supply chain restrictions. Just-in-time inventories being a long sought after kind of golden egg. But at this point, is that how you want to be operating, not knowing if you're going to be able to deliver products in time? Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but there is a large shortage of quality snowblowers right now, and snowblowers are approximately 15 to 20% more expensive than they ought to be because of the supply chain issues. I've heard that some brands of snowblowers will not be arriving this year at all. So that could be, these kind of little things could really have a big impact on a business. And it's, like I said, we're a bit late on this presentation, but if this is something that affects your customers, talking about it earlier and planning ahead earlier will definitely help. I don't think just in time is really practical in the COVID era. Also, with regards to budgeting on the sales side, are you capacity restricted? Are there special other things like having sanitizer, having that person to check the app and so on at the front door, the app and the ID at the front door in Ontario? Are these things that you're going to have to budget extra for your customers? So I don't know about you guys, but I've really noticed that people are really not doing that part correctly. Like when we go into restaurants, at most they're looking at the PDF and they're looking at the ID. But I think I've had my app, like the actual QR code scan once in Ontario. How's everyone else's experience being? Do you see restaurants suffering from this?
It's been fairly consistent where I
Okay.
am in BC when I've gone out to restaurants. I mean, I don't do the fast food restaurants. I haven't gone in those places for years, but like Browns or White Spot or places like that, they are scanning and they're checking the ID.
That's good.
So I'm comfortable knowing that they're actually doing that. It's not a problem for me.
Yeah. I was in a little breakfast spot in Newmarket, and the only thing they asked was it table for one? So, it's not, it doesn't bode well to that. And of course, they were definitely pressured. They weren't full, but you could tell that there was 3 people on serving the whole restaurant. So it was a lot for them. And with customers who compete on price, it's going to be even more pressure on them because they need to do the volume to make the money, and they're not going to want to spend on the extra staffing, the extra COVID protocols, things like that. So, all right. One of our favorite things, team parties. So a team party once a year can be 100% write-off if all or substantially all the team members from the location are invited. If you invite just the executive, that does not qualify. There was a case a while back where someone threw, this was a much larger business, they threw a party. It was really his wife's anniversary. The spending was well in excess of $100 per guest. He invited the executive from his company and, of course, a lot of personal guests as well. And his logic was, well, these are high net worth individuals. There might be business contacts, networking, stuff like that. CRA did not buy that at all. And in the end, I believe the deduction was completely denied, and essentially they had to pay tax on it. So this is an area where I think it really the Income Tax Act needs to catch up, and that's the $100 limit. I mean, right now, if you're to take, somebody to a nice venue, you could easily spend over $100, and you don't want to be like, happy holidays, here's your taxable benefit that you're going to pay taxes on that don't make any, like, then that's not really much of a gift, right? So that's something to keep in mind. It does not include transportation and accommodation, but I'm going to talk about alcohol quite a bit because I don't know if people know my history about this, but I came up working in bars as a bouncer, as a bar manager, a bartender, and Smart Serve was very, very strict. And we were in a situation where it was a university bar. So we were very, very much by, total line, it has to be done right, all those kind of things. But one thing to consider is to limit the amount of alcohol that you serve, to limit your company's liability. And if you're hosting at your home, to limit your personal liability as well. If somebody is overserved at your location, proceeds to get behind the wheel and has an accident, you could have liability exposure there. So something to keep in mind. Always good to budget a little extra for taxi chits, Uber, Lyft. Heck, I've seen parties where they have like a minibus that takes everybody home at like 11 o'clock or something like that. Are you inviting spouses? Are you inviting children? Those are some questions to consider. Are you going to have special entertainment for the children? Is it the right kind of environment to invite entire families? How's that going to affect your budget as well? And I would recommend not forcing people to attend, because some people are introverts and they're perfectly happy dealing one-on-one, but going to a party with 50 people scares the heck out of them. So something to keep in mind. Team bonuses, gifts, and awards. So tangible gifts under $500 are not taxable. These are specific items. So it does not include things like gift cards, gift certificates, even movie passes have been found out to be a taxable benefit. So these are things to consider when gifting. And you don't want to give somebody a gift and then, oh, you're going to pay tax on that, by the way, right? Bonuses are taxable and should be processed through payroll. I'm not as familiar with the US systems because there's so many. I don't recognize anybody here being from the US, but there probably will be somebody who sees this. You, of course, should consult a tax professional, payrolls professional in your local jurisdiction about whether or not how these things apply. I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty consistent. Awards tied to performance are taxable. They're part of the compensation, but there can be awards that are not taxable benefits, like the classic gold watch idea. As long as it's under that $500 limit, that can be considered not a taxable benefit. And you can give gifts for other things too, right? Like somebody's getting married, somebody bought a house. You can give those kind of gifts as well. But again, keep it under the $500, and keep in mind, sorry, that $500 is for the year.
Jonathan, at one point, the rule was $500 for the year, but no more than 2 gifts in any given year. Is that rule?
I'd have to look that up. I couldn't find literature about that from CRA. Now, I did find a lot of older information, but I wanted to kind of stick to the CRA guidance as much as I could. And I didn't find anything specific about that.
Okay.
With regards to the parties, though, it was 6 per year, and that was confirmed.
And on the $500, that's including all taxes, and you're not claiming the GST as an ITC.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
One thing just to bring up here that, again, you might be talking a little bit more about, but just the reason being is why the gift cards, and if you're giving them, again, a gift like the gold watch, but you're giving them a book that they can choose from a selection of gifts, that actually becomes taxable. The reason being is because, and I've sat in on Steve Asseltine from the Canadian Payroll Association, sat in on several, and he and I have had like very in-depth conversations about this. Basically, and this is why the gift card is considered taxable. If the person can choose, and this is why movie passes, they can select what movie they're seeing and when to use it. they now have a choice. So if they can choose, it is now taxable. If you are giving them a gift slip or gift voucher that is only good, like let's say for a turkey, they can't choose it. They can only choose what turkey, but they can't change it in. It doesn't have a cash value, then it's not taxable. But if it has a cash value, and that's again where when it's even tied to a length of service award, it has a cash value if they get to pick what they're receiving. Again, if it's just a gold watch, if everybody gets the exact same thing, they don't get to pick, then that's the difference. So that was how Steve explained it to me, and which I thought made a lot of sense when you're selecting what to do. If the client has any choice, it's taxable. So thank you.
Definitely some areas to keep in mind. At the end, I want to know, okay, maybe you can't tell us, Tanya, because Sandra's here, but I want to know what you guys are doing for your teams. All right, so customer appreciation events. Again, who is this for? Are you inviting all your customers? I mean, we couldn't do that. That would definitely break the bank for our business. But like, we would definitely do something like this where we invited all of our value price customers or subscription clients to come. Would you invite families, children, spouses, things along those lines? What are you doing? You got to make sure it's planned in advance. You're probably going to have reservations, particularly now, understand COVID limitations, restrictions, and those kind of things. And if you're getting special performers, then you're definitely going to want to book them well in advance. I can guarantee you it's really hard to get a Santa right now. Beware of alcohol. We talked about this before. The standard for being overserved is extremely low. So it might, like, those of us who do drink alcohol, we might consider that we're fine to drive, but under the law, we've been overserved. So it's something to be very conscious about. And again, limiting the amount of alcohol that's included is a really good way to help doing this. And then if they choose to purchase additional drinks, then at least the liability line becomes a little bit more skewed. But again, consider having the Uber, Lyft, taxi chits, a shuttle bus, something like that, to avoid the drinking and driving. I know that at some conferences we've been to, they've been really good for that. And they really make sure that there's buses and they're counting heads and they're making sure that everybody's getting back to their hotels safe. Another thing to do is consider having it on a weekday ahead of the main holiday season, just to make getting reservations easier, availability easier. People tend not to, party until midnight during the week. So this might be a little bit easier on your budget or things along those lines. Just stuff to consider.
Well, or one thing that I know used to happen when I was in insurance is we would leave at noon, go for lunch, be able to have that drink or two, and then you leave at the end of the day. So that way, several hours of an office party. And then people still have to be able to go home. So you're right, that does limit. People might have a glass of wine, maybe two, but it really limits it, especially if they know they have to go home for dinner or like whatever. They're still driving at the end of the day. So that's another
really good suggestion. I like that one a lot. Yeah. And you could do things that are fun.
Well, exactly. And who wouldn't want to get paid for having the afternoon off and just sitting around and chatting and whatnot anyway, and not have to go back to the office. So you're getting paid for it. But that really limited everything as well too. And I found that was really good with the alcohol thing.
Just curious out there, do people do customer appreciation events? I mean, realtors are huge.
I have not.
You've not?
I've not. I mean, I've been to ones where they've done it, and my one client, they used to do a daytime thing. They did like laser tag or go-kart racing, and we either sometimes we'd meet there, but one of the later ones where he did one of those little minibus limo things and took us to those ones where you have to, it's an escape room.
Yep.
So then it was like a team building thing. So then they broke us out into teams, and then, you go into the room and you got to figure out how to get out. It was fun, but yeah, it was in the middle of the day. There was no alcohol involved, but you got paid for the day, even though you weren't actually working.
Well, still providing value, encouraging teamwork, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't done a customer appreciation event like you. We give a little gift at the end of the year to our subscription clients. And I really budget $20 each. Like it's about giving you a little something
Yeah.
to say, I appreciate you, but it's not about breaking the bank.
I used to always be about giving alcohol, wine or sake or something like that. And then one year I gave a bottle of wine to a pregnant woman. That didn't go over so well. So, we'll get to the be sensitive part later.
Yeah.
Oh, wine is so easy to regift though. Like,
Yeah, true. I just felt like a heel. It's like, here's a nice bottle of red wine. I'm pregnant. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But
So
she could have kept it till she wasn't pregnant.
I don't want to derail your conversation, Jonathan, and you might get to this later, but Jennifer's just asked a question, and if I may tell you what I've given in the last couple of years.
Please.
And in fact, I can grab it.
This actually, I think, ties really well. No. Okay, yeah, we're still on gifts. Okay.
So last year I got a little packaging. It says thank you. It had a nice ribbon. It's been squished a little bit, and inside was $10 worth of fudge, because it's also about consumable, right? I don't want to dust anything. I assume everybody else doesn't want to dust anything. This year's package has a pound of coffee, a couple of tea bags, and some hot chocolate. It's just enough to say thank you, and here you go. Hopefully you'll like one of the three and feed the rest of your family or something.
Yeah.
And then the year before that, I actually tried. I taught a class yesterday. That's why they're all at my hand disposal. Is I actually got mugs. Oops, sorry.
Oh,
Nice.
Mugs that had my logo on it, and if you buy them
And
from
I-
Vista. If you buy them from Vistaprint, you can get a small run. So we tried like 24. We paid more for it, but in the end I didn't like them, so I'm glad I didn't have 300 mugs of them. And then I put a little package. There's a little package of cheesecake in there,
Nice.
and I always throw in gold chocolate coins for a prosperous new year. That's sort of
Nice.
the little thing. So that's how I keep it down to $20, and it's just a little something. And it's not wasteful.
but
how many clients do you do that for?
That's
Sorry.
Generally around the 20 mark.
That's fantastic. Some great suggestions.
So
Yeah.
at $20 for 20 people, what does that come out to? Like
400
400 bucks maybe. Yeah. So
Yeah, now just to point that out, because you mentioned Vistaprint, you're right. They are great for smaller quantities. Their Black Friday sale starts Friday. 40% off. I'm waiting to order my calendars, and I had them all in there, and I'm like, oh, the Black Friday sale doesn't start yet. Okay, well, I'm just saving it in my cart and waiting.
I've had clients ask me to remove them from my guest or from my gift list, because they said, although they appreciate the thought and the intention, that they get gifts from so many people, and that it's often very generic based, and that they don't like those types of gifts. So now I
You're
don't
off the list.
Yeah, I don't send the same thing to everybody anymore. I do have a budget that's a percentage of the revenue I made from them, as opposed to a percentage.
I like that idea.
And I personalize it. I don't send the same thing to
That's
everybody.
fantastic.
The last few years I've done cookie packages. So I have a local bakery here that I love, and have used them quite a few years. But this year, my girlfriend is making advent calendars, but in cookies. So there'll be
Nice.
one small cookie for every day, and then a big cookie for the 24th. So I've ordered a few of those for the high-end clients that know they always like to get their cookies. So they're getting advent calendar cookies.
I'm curious as to what are people's thought. Again, I'm sorry for derailing, but what are people's thought on sending a card saying, I have given a donation to this charity on the behalf of our clients. Feeling?
I've done that in the past, and I've actually done it with based on a client who had done it all the time. Pick a couple different charities and then send out a little voting thing. Pick which one you like best, and then based on the percentage, so they don't know exactly how much I'm donating. Like say I'm doing $1,000. So depending on what they're figuring out, or if say I'm doing $500, depending on the percentage that they pick, then that's the percentage that goes to the two charities. So
Nice.
yeah, I've done that in the past.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think particularly in rural social justice, if you have any customers who are in that realm, they'd appreciate that kind of thing a lot, especially personalized. I love that you do them personalized, Kim. I find that so hard. All right, shall we continue? I heard somebody say something. Am I freezing again?
That was me. I was going to interject and then you wanted to continue, and I'm not going to derail. So,
okay. All right. So, one of my favorite conversations to have is I don't want to pay tax, so I'm going to spend whatever money I have left at the end of the year. I just saw Stacy roll her eyes. There's so many reasons it's just a bad idea. Like, generally speaking, if you're paying tax, it means you're making money. These are good things. You're paying way less tax in a corporation, an active business corporation, than you would on a personal level. So it really, like, you know, even sometimes the idea of making those purchases, oh, it's a write-off. Well, it might not be a write-off immediately, right? You know, if you're buying stuff for next year, well, matching principal, that's a prepaid expense. It really shouldn't show up on the P&L until the following year. So there's zero tax savings there. If you're buying an asset, you know, subject to depreciation rules, you're not going to get much of a deduction for it. And inventory is my favorite. Like,
Well,
you know,
hold on one sec. I want to interject there.
go for
When
it,
you're
Carol.
buying an asset in the first year, you only get 50% of the depreciated value. In the second year, you get that full percentage. So buying it in the last month of December, if it's a 30%, you only get 15, but that's 15 for the whole portion of the year. And then next year you get full 30%. So if you're going to buy
half-year rule.
assets, the half-year
Yeah.
rule, you're better off to buy it in December at the very end.
So depending on the class of asset, the accelerated investment incentive program may apply, which actually triples that first year deduction. So it does depend on what they're buying and things like that. But regardless, it's not hitting the P&L and decreasing your profit by the amount that's leaving the door. I mean, the savings are pennies on the dollar. I did not list what they are because they're different depending on the province and whatnot. But like, it could be like 12.5 cents on the dollar. I mean, you're spending $1 to save 12.5 cents in tax. Does that really make sense? Right? So just some of my thoughts on that. I'm trying to remember the woman's name. She did a wonderful presentation at one of the conferences she's with MMP now. She used to be with Grant Thornton. Anyway, I'd love to give the credit, but I can't remember her name right now. Be sensitive and be understanding. Yeah, okay, I see an interjection, Stacy.
yeah, no, I was going to say, I know the lady you're talking about. She did a presentation, Cash is King. And those are the examples I use all the time. I would rather keep 70 cents in my pocket and pay 30 cents to the government than to pay $1 to Walmart and have nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so being sensitive, we already talked about my quasi foot in the mouth by giving a bottle of wine to a pregnant woman. There could be other things that could be rather insensitive. So knowing your customers can really help. I'm sure everybody here is doing some degree of social media. We're trying to be more inclusive with those things. So we're trying, you know, our team is largely Catholic, really. So that's where their minds tend to go. And it's no fault of their own. It's just that's where their minds tend to go when it comes to the holidays. So I don't know if anybody noticed last year that there was a lot of quasi-religious posts on our social media. So we've toned that down and we're trying to be more inclusive as to what different holidays are there and what people are celebrating, right? Some people don't care if you say Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. Some people really want the Happy Holidays. Some people like to get the special Happy Hanukkah. So it really, understanding your audience is going to be very important there. Has anyone else ever made a snafu with regards to holiday wishes?
Can you guys hear me? I don't have my headset on.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Ireland, Roman Catholic country. Family's Muslim. And I'll tell you, every year, the billion plus bottles of whiskey and alcohol that we used to get, there's only so much you can gift.
Yeah.
So, and it was just always very difficult. So yeah, I've always wondered, what is an appropriate non-alcoholic equivalent of that? Because I have clients in Ireland. I've never figured out what's an appropriate non-alcoholic equivalent of bottles of whiskey.
That's a really good question. I would go with the tangible good. I like what Stacy's doing with the customized packages. I love the idea of Kim doing something personal for each individual behind the customer.
Unfortunately, it's long distance, so I can't do edibles. I do that locally, but I love Stacy's presentations. They were really awesome.
Yeah.
But what do you do? What's something like a bottle of whiskey, but not alcoholic? I've never figured it out.
Is there availability of something such as an edible arrangement? I know I looked recently. I can find it in London, England. I'm not sure if I could find that in
Not in
Ireland.
Ireland.
No.
You're in Canada. How about maple syrup?
Or Sima, what about if you want to do a bottle, what about a bottle of sparkling juice that resembles wine?
An Irish person will spit in your face if you give them a bottle of sparkling juice. You don't want to go fake or not alcoholic. That's more of an insult than a gift. So, but the maple syrup is a fabulous idea. I never thought about that. And I can ship those easily from here.
It's priced around the same way. I mean, I think actually maple syrup is more expensive by volume than basic whiskey anyway.
But a really nice bottle of maple syrup, definitely go appreciate. Okay, thank you.
And you can get some good presentation too with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can support local. All right, we should get to the last poll and then just a quote, and then we can just chat about whatever. So which of the following can be written off 100%? Santa hats with the company logo, the office holiday party costing less than $100 per person, gift cards given to customers, bonuses awarded to employees, or all of the above?
Just a reminder, both polls need to be answered in order to qualify for the professional development credits.
Good thing they don't have to be 100% accurate.
Has the poll popped up yet?
Yeah.
Mine popped up on my other screen.
Oh, yep, there it is. Thanks.
I know, I was thinking the same thing, and then I went, oh, wait a minute.
I thought Tanya was multitasking again and we were waiting for it to come up still.
No. All right. Okay, so we'll do a countdown to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll and share the results.
All right, yeah, the answer is all of the above. Promotional expenses, all of these, payroll expenses, all of these are in some way a 100% tax deduction for them.
So
With C, I'm curious.
I actually want to talk about C for a moment.
Okay, because how can you prove in your books that you gave them to customers and not employees?
So
If
what
you're
you need
monitoring.
to do is you have to keep a schedule. Now, if you're buying a gift and it's like a basic receipt, I mean, the preference from CRA administration is who'd the gift go to and what's their contact info right on the receipt.
Oh,
It can
okay.
get sticky times though, right? Like, if you're dealing with people who you're, a financial planner and you're doing that kind of thing, you might not want to keep that right on the receipt. Or if you're buying, you know, $1,000 worth of, you know, Tim Hortons gift cards, I mean, it's one receipt. You're not going to fit all that information there of who it went to. So you can keep a schedule for it, but it is important. You know, I'm sure that a lot of us here have seen that customer who goes out, you know, November 30th and buys $3,000 worth of $100 LCBO gift cards and their gifts for customers. And CRA is onto that. CRA is onto that. And if it comes back and they can't find and you can't provide any information, they know they're probably going to have an assessment.
My real
I had
estate
that happen
agents
with
do
a
that.
client last year where he bought 7 $100 gift cards thinking he was giving them to the employees. And I says, okay, let's talk about that. So when I explained it to him, he's like, okay, now I'm not doing that. So then he had $100 in grocery cards for himself.
Well,
They're holding on.
He did the different way of doing the gift cards or Christmas giving so that it was beneficial to him instead of the gift card.
Well, and think about it, the gift card is just like the meals, right? How can you prove that that wasn't anything? By simply putting the client's contact information. And then as Jonathan said too, when they go in and buy a bunch, real estate agents will do that because they have the gift cards that they give. So like, and there's stuff that I've questioned on my real estate agent before. I'm like, no, like she bought like a taco kit and stuff, but apparently it's true. And what she does is she knows that they're not going to be able to, you know, basically like, you know, have food and stuff. So rather than ordering in pizza or something, she'll kind of give them, she'll send them something again, more towards what they're like. And then she'll put in some gas certificates, and each basket for each house closing is about $500. But they actually do keep track of on anything that's questionable that I'm like, are you sure that's not for your own pantry? No, they keep track of you know, either on that receipt or they keep a separate receipt for the bulk cards that they get, have the serial number of the card and the name and address of the person it gave to, that they gave it to. Again,
So-
with all of those details.
So that's really smart, especially when you have real estate, or I have a marketing person that I'm very pedantic with because I'm like, your meals and entertainment expense is through the roof. But the question I have with C, if it's a gift card for a restaurant, we've always put that into meals and entertainment, or at least noted it as meals and entertainment. And so are you telling me now that it could be written off at 100% rather than 50 for tax purposes?
It needs to be noted who it went to and have their contact information provided on a schedule.
Okay.
Think
You're
about
not
it.
taking them out, right?
Yeah.
You're not taking them out. It's for you. So if
You're not
taking
using
them
that for
out-
your team or something.
Mhm. Well,
yeah, if you were using it
not
for
always
you or
convinced
for
on
your
that.
team, then it's different rules. And absolutely. So if I've done that in the past, no, I've written that off at 100%. But again, here's who it's for.
Okay.
Because if you just give them an Amex or Visa gift card, they could still go spend that on food.
Yeah.
True.
Visa gift cards, that might be a good one, especially for the long distance ones. Just as an FYI, we do have a customer. They're shared with another bookkeeping firm who's not here today, but that's what they do. They create just beautiful gift baskets for realtors to give to their clients at close. And they're not cheap, but they're something else, and they're customly done. They're very, very well done. So, okay, so just a quote. I'm grateful for what I am and what I have, and my Thanksgiving is perpetual. I just thought that was really kind of a good holiday quote, something for us all to keep in mind at the time of year. Well, we are at 101. As always, you know, please follow, connect if you're not already, but I think I'm connected with almost everybody here. And any questions, stories, comments?
Just to point out, because it was asked, so the Vistaprint Black Friday sale starts Friday. So you can go and put it in your basket. Just don't actually order anything till Friday. And I think it said 40% off most items. So I didn't pay too much attention. Now, Jonathan, you did have a question that you asked about that you said you were going to ask me at the end about the team, and I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, I was going to ask what you guys are doing for your teams this holiday season.
So I do have gifts that I've bought them, that they've actually came in yesterday, and we just talked about this yesterday. So what we may do, and we're gonna wait and see if the COVID numbers really, because we normally go out for like a Christmas lunch, and we're just, we just go out, and it's like a brunch, or and exchange the gifts, and it's a really low key day, and we try to have it on a day. There's been the odd time where we've decided to go to a movie, and then we've had it on the evening, but if it's during the day, again, they get paid for it, so it's just nicer, right? So this year, what we did decide that we're going to try to do, if the numbers are good, is we're just going to get together low key. Here, there's enough space that we can still sit, all 6 feet apart type of thing, exchange gifts, and then order some food in, because I will be able to eat a little bit more after December 17th. So just kind of order something in and just be like nice and chill, and have just a nice chill afternoon socializing. Again, if we're comfortable with the COVID numbers. And then I do generally pay out a Christmas bonus as well. And
That's
and then
where
we,
I can
that's
work for you.
the commute might be a bit much.
Yeah. I have a small team, and so
Sandra
Kendra.
says no. Sorry,
I have a
Cynthia.
small team. So for what I've been able to do the last couple of years is take us all out for dinner. Last year, what I did is I sent everybody, we had a night planned. I sent everybody skip the dishes to their home, and we all got together on Zoom, and we all watched the same movie at the same time, some sort of Christmas movie or whatever, because that's all we could do. This year, we're allowed in each other's homes as long as we're fully vaccinated. And so I think I'm going to have the team here, and we'll order in. And we also have, it's a franchise, I'm sure everybody has it. It's called Crockadoodle, where we can paint pottery and have it. See, Sandra's nodding. I don't know why Tanya's not.
Annette will be happy to hear about that. We work with a few crocodiles.
Oh, there we go. So we're gonna have Crockadoodle, they have at-home kits. So I'll order something, and we'll have a paint night or something, just to do something fun. But we're gathering together, but we're not going so far as to get other people involved,
Yeah.
right? But I have a small team, so I can get away with that. And I don't pay out a Christmas bonus, but I do pay the time between Christmas and New Year's, so that's kind of their bonus. I don't make them take vacation days or anything.
That's cool. Yeah, we do small bonuses at Christmas. We do bigger bonuses in the spring, post-tax season, when we have a bit better idea. And those usually come out right in time for summer, when people want to do vacation and whatnot like that. I've not done gifts for the team in the past. I do find it really kind of challenging, because our team is pretty spread out. To get people together can be, if we were to do that, the next time we do that, I mean, it would really involve flights. So I don't know how practical that is. But I love some of these ideas, like the ordering the skip the dishes to people's houses and things like that. Incidentally, we have none of that stuff where I live. So skip the dishes, Uber Eats, no, none of that stuff. Nobody will deliver here.
That's what I was gonna say. That
Same here.
I don't think Sandra would have Skip where she is in Sterling either, but
Yeah.
no,
They don't
if
come
it
up here
doesn't work,
either.
if it doesn't work that we don't get together, we said we'll just wait until the spring and do it. Like, we can still do the gifts, like the gifts will be here for them to come pick up. But then we can just do, go out in the spring on the deck when it's nice and we can sit outside. But we're all vaccinated. We're all very careful. So I think it'll go forth. So.
Jonathan, you don't have Skip the Dishes or Uber Eats or anything, but do you have a local restaurant that would either take out or deliver?
For me,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But I could do skip the dishes for most of our team, because most of them are in areas where they have it. We do have a team member in Aurelia, and I don't think we have skip the dishes or those kind of things in Aurelia, but can make arrangements for them, I'm sure. My local, the closest restaurant to me is the Tim Hortons across from the casino. So it's really kind of like, that's my local, is the casino or the airport. Those are the two closest restaurants. So,
Gotcha. Casinos have
Right.
nice buffets.
yeah, I'm never eating at a buffet again. Come on, really? Hey, forget about the overeating part of it, but like, how do you feel like everyone walking by and breathing all over that food? And
I was uncomfortable with
pandemic
buffets
has
before
changed stuff for
COVID.
me. Yeah.
Like, no.
Instantly, if anybody goes to Casino Rama, if you go to the Chinese restaurant, order a la carte and the food is amazing. The buffet, I don't recommend.
Well, do you know the best buffet that I've ever been to that I would absolutely do again is a tableside buffet. And they had that in Florida. And what they would do is so that they weren't putting all this food out at once, it was great. They would just basically say, okay, what do you want? You want whatever. And they would bring a great big tray and just put it on your table. And it was all you could eat tableside. So if you're like, you know what, I want more sausages, I want more this, it's all fresh cooked. And it's not around anybody else. So I thought that was really neat. That was a really neat idea.
That's cool. It sounds like, has anybody been for dim sum where they push around the carts and then pull out the little dishes?
Mhm.
I miss that.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't eat off of that is the chicken feet. I tried and I'm just like, I can't.
If you go to the really, really authentic ones over in Asia, sometimes there's worse.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Anyway, okay, we've had a great chat. No more questions or comments. Everyone's okay.
I could talk restaurants all day long if you want.
Just gonna throw it out there too. I will post it, but if anybody has not seen it yet, 17 Hats has their Black Friday sale on for
Yes.
lifetime.
Oh, that's good.
If anybody was looking.
Yeah, I posted that in our circle for
Oh, did you? Okay, I was trying to post it on my phone this morning and I couldn't. So
Yeah, it's posted under the I don't know how many, as long as you were following the Black Friday thread, it's in that one, but yeah.
oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, have a wonderful
you.
weekend and we will see. Oh, were we going to talk about the December one? No, we've already got the date, right?
So the date is December 15th.
Yes. So
And
it is not the last
I can talk
Wednesday.
about the subject matter offline.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Okay.
Yeah. So when I send the recording to this, I'll send a reminder of the date for the
Yeah, because
December one.
yeah, I'm not doing it December 27th or whatever it is.
Yeah, it was basically New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve type of thing. We're like,
Yeah.
no, something like that. So yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful week and we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.